Hello, this is Ivan from the chess channel Chess with Ivan. I wanted to share with you this cool Endgame study, which revolves around the topic of Underpromotion. And I want to say thanks to Underpromote for the excellent subscribers platform, since this will definitely allow me to reach a wider audience, since my channel is just starting. So I hope all of you who is going to see that on Underpromote's channel will enjoy this puzzle. Let's get straight to it, and I wanted to give you a chance to pause the video, take your time, and try to see how this position, which material-wise looks not very good for white, how can we turn this around and achieve a winning position for white. So please pause. Alright, so hope you did a lot of thinking. Let's get straight to the solution and see what can we do as white here. So you might have noticed that we can promote this pawn, and also that we have discoveries with this bishop. So if we move it anywhere, we'll be able to attack the queen with our rook. So these tools will allow us to at least start clawing back this disadvantaged material that we talk about. But what are the ways to actually win? For example, if we start taking now, it's a bit too early, because after the queen is taken by the king, we don't have a good continuation here, because no good move can happen with the bishop, where the discovery and attack on the queen gives us a big advantage. So promoting as a first move is not very good. We're still going to lose that game. So the other move to consider is where to put this bishop in order to attack the queen and also create more trouble for black. And the correct answer, and the correct move one, is bishop to h7, because it's a check, which means that black will have to deal with it, and at the same time we attack the queen. So we are making progress, and let's say that black takes the bishop. Now we need to be careful, and here is where things start getting a bit tricky. If we first take the queen, basically we've won back our queen for a bishop, but this position is still not very good for white, because black has the resources of stopping that pawn from promoting and moving away the rook from danger, then later taking the taking the pawn with their bishop, and then marching the king in order to take our pawn with the help of the rook. So overall, taking this queen here is premature. If we promote by taking the rook and making a queen, it's also not very good, because then we're going to lose our rook on d1, and our opponent won't have a problem to get a better position than us, having a queen and a bishop versus a queen with a pawn, and also basically it's their turn, so they will be able to attack us. So this is quite losing. So what to do? What's a good move here? Maybe the very astute puzzlers around you have found the correct move, and the theme is Underpromotion. So the move is indeed pawn takes rook, and as maybe many of you know, you don't have to promote to a queen. You get all these four options, and in 99.9% of the games we promote to a queen, but in this situation only promoting to a knight wins the game for white. And why does it do it? Because unlike promoting to a queen, we now give a check. So again, black doesn't have time to start developing their queen. They have to deal with the check. So let's say they move anywhere, basically, it doesn't matter. Now we can safely take that queen, and now we have a material advantage that should be sufficient to win. A bishop and a pawn should not be able to create problems for a rook and a knight in most positions, and with correct play we should be able to win that. It's not an automatic mate in a few moves, but this is a winning position for white. So well done if you managed to find that, but that doesn't quite solve the puzzle, because black here does not have to take our bishop. And if they spotted that few move puzzle with the Underpromotion to a knight, they might try to trick us, knowing that taking the bishop is losing. So they might play king to h8. Now, how to proceed here? Again, pause, and I'll give you a couple of seconds. Right. So hopefully you did a lot of thinking, because it's not easy to see the continuation here. If you take with the queen, it looks like a great move because we're checking, so we are pressuring black. But actually, when they take this bishop, us taking the queen forces a stalemate. So that actually is a trick and a resource that black uses against us. Now we have definitely turned around the material difference, but the game is sort of over, not in the way that white was hoping for, because this ends as a draw. That king cannot move anywhere because of the queen and the pawn. The bishop is trapped, it's pinned, so it cannot move because the rook would take the king. And the pawn obviously cannot move forward because it's blocked by the pawn on h5. So, if we can't take this queen, unfortunately, we also don't have any good checks in this position. So we will pass over the initiative to black. And if we make like a random move that kind of continues the game, but you know, saves the rook obviously, then you know, black can get active. So in many lines they will even win, and in some of the lines probably it's going to be a draw. So promoting to a queen is not good. But what to do? The answer is promoting, again in the theme of under promotion, to a rook. Because if you promote to a rook and then black tries to trick you again, taking the puzzle and forcing a stalemate, this is not stalemate anymore. Basically, what the queen did, on top of everything that that rook does, is it controlled the square g7. But the rook doesn't do that, so unfortunately for black, they have to move here. And now it should be a pretty simple finish. Actually, it's just checkmate if you take like this. The two rooks finish the game off in a really nice fashion. So, in the second line, when black goes in the corner, we underpromote to a rook, a much rarer underpromotion compared to a knight, because rooks do everything that the queen does. So in, I mean, the vast majority of cases, we should promote to a queen when comparing to a rook. Knight underpromotions are more often interesting because the knight does something that the queen doesn't in terms of how it moves. So often you gain a tempo by underpromoting to a knight and then getting a check in or forking some key pieces of your opponent. So underpromoting to a rook to win the game. And we might think we're done here, but actually we need to see the third option, which is king to g7 here. So what will we do here? Again, if we promote to a queen, we already tried this out when the king was in the corner in h8, and they can do exactly the same thing. They can still take that bishop, and again, we discussed why it's a draw. We cannot capture because it's stalemate, but many of the other moves that we can make would be even worse because it will allow a counterattack and we might even lose the game. So in this very strange variety, probably the least likely to even consider, we still are winning, but we have to correctly underpromote to a bishop. Yes, probably really the rarest of underpromotions, but underpromoting to a bishop allows us to squeeze in that check, like with the queen. But this time, if the king takes the bishop on h7, that's no good because of us taking the queen. And then again, it is not stalemate, so the situation looks pretty dire for black now. The material is pretty high up for us, so even if they try to defend, a lot of things work. Even the rook simply being sacrificed works because of you know, the strength of this position. The king cannot really touch the pawn and the bishop, and this square is the same color as our bishop, which means that we will be able to, you know, help that pawn get promoted, maybe finally to a queen, in order to win the game. But even if we don't sacrifice a rook, there are many ways to finish this position in a winning way for white. And also, black might choose to capture the other bishop, but if that happens, again, we can safely take the queen. And here it might be even easier for us to win because with the same square, same light square bishops, we will be able to force their bishop out of the game. So yeah, this is the puzzle I wanted to share with you. 3 main lines after discovering the correct first move, and all of them involving an under promotion, every time to a different piece, and every time if you get greedy and play like how you should normally play and produce a queen, every time this is wrong. So I thought quite cool, and when I did some more research on this puzzle, since it was shown to me all over the board many years ago by a friend of mine, and it's been my favorite since. I googled it. It's created by Herbstman in 1934, and it won second prize in the magazine that it was created for. So if you know what's first prize, please let me know in the comments, because I thought this is super awesome. So if anything beats that, I will be very keen to see it, and I hope all of you will as well. And I was very glad that it wasn't that widely covered. I saw a cover by Greg Shahadi, again from years ago, on that puzzle, and I hope I managed to explain it in a way he assumes like everyone knows quite a lot about chess in his first videos, but I hope I managed to explain to everyone the beauty of that position. Thanks guys, good luck with your chess, bye!